So tonight's video in our Zoom chat is about, it's going to be about your top 100 list. Now, it's not about the fact that you need to make one. We have a video about that if you need to go watch that. That's no big deal. But it's about what to do with your top 100, how to keep that top 100 list fresh. And it's called, I'm going to tell you this. I borrowed this from another leader in the company, this way of working the business. And she told me what she did. And I thought, she said, I took the way that you work the business and sort of combined it with the top money earner in the company, her daily method of action. And I combined those two things, which I don't know. I'm like, when she told me that, I was like, I don't know how you did that. Because the way I work the business is so like, you know, right-brained and crazy. And I'm sure the top money earner in this company is very left-brained and organized and probably runs things pretty straight and organized. So I thought, man, if you can combine those two things, I want to see that. Well, as I was reading down through it, I was very impressed. I thought, oh my gosh, this is awesome. She's put together, she's combined. I'm happy with it. So I'm going to help you guys in ways that I have not actually used this system before, but I thought I can't use it without you guys. So I thought if you like it and you want to share this video that I'm going to make with your new team members, this will be a perfect way. It's a daily stack is what she calls it, the action stack. It's daily action to do to get your business rolling. Are you guys interested in that? Like, I know I've shown you, like, this is what I do every week, and I had about, you know, a quarter of you go, oh yeah, I can totally do that. That's totally my thing. And then there's like 75% of you that are all like, I don't know, that doesn't really speak to me. So I'm hoping to pick up the rest of you with this action stack. Now, I'm going to show it to you, and I'm going to read the notes that I took on it as I was discussing it with this other leader. And so I have the notes typed out. So if you are the kind of person that wants to listen and not take notes, that's fine, because I will share the notes. The action stack is a checklist. Okay, so that's awesome. You can just print it out and have a daily, like, here's what I would do because I'm weird like this. I would print it out and laminate it and then use the little thing so I can mark it off every day, you know, and instead of printing out a new one every day, if you want to print out a new one every day and use this as your daily action stack, that's fine too. But it was so cool because it's clear and concise. I'll go into the elaboration is in this video, what we're doing right now. The elaborating on that, on what to do, is something you need to really watch. Hang on, I'm going to make sure everyone's muted. The elaborating part, which we're going to do tonight, will not take long, will take longer than actually doing what you need to do every day. That will not take very long every single day. It's literally like 7 or 8 things that you should do every single day to make your business really roll. So, hang on, I'm going to share screen with you guys. I picked like the hottest room in my house for some reason, and to do my Zoom chat, so my face is all shiny. Y'all just have to ignore that. Here we go. Not this, this. So, at the top of her daily action stack, she has quiet time. Oh, I forgot to say, I'm sorry. I forgot to say, if you're the kind of person that doesn't want to take notes and you'd rather just listen, I will also share everything I'm going to talk about with you note form. So if you learn better by taking notes, take notes. If you learn better by listening, you don't have to take notes because I'll share the notes with you as well. So at the top of her daily action stack, every day, quiet time, prayer, positive affirmations. Now, what we discussed about this particular thing was the fact that in this day and age, the first thing that we seem to do is grab our phone in the mornings. Like, the first thing we do is maybe check our email or whatever. And we discussed the fact that if you will save in your notes in your phone positive affirmations, if you want to learn more about positive affirmations, I have done a ton of videos about those, and you can watch those message me or message your upline to find particular videos about those. But what I want you to know is if you'll spend those first few minutes doing quiet time, prayer, and positive affirmations, it will completely change the tone of your day. And the scripture verse that she put out beside it is Philippians 4:8. And that is, finally, brothers and sisters, whatever is true, whatever is noble. So whoever is scribbling, we can actually see that. Like, you know, like if you're going, oh my gosh, look what's going on. And we can actually see the little blue marks. So I don't know if you guys can see that. Can you guys see that? Okay. Somebody else is sharing screen with me. That's not me, by the way, doing that. I'm not sure why that's going on. But now that they know, they're like, oh gosh, I'm going to quit scribbling. Okay. Finally, brothers and sisters, whatever is true, whatever is noble, whatever is right, whatever is pure, whatever is lovely, admirable, if anything is excellent or praiseworthy, think about such things. So she's talking about in her action stack here, she's talking about starting off with things that are their tone setting for your day. They're going to completely change the tone of your day if you will start off with gratitude, for example. I have a whole entire like set list that I want to eventually do about gratitude, including being grateful for our bodies, which I have struggled with in the past. Like, I mean, I'm grateful that I have a body, but like grateful for that we have a body that gets us from one place to the other. And I could go on and on and on about what I have learned about having gratitude for the things that we take for granted. I think I have more gratitude for my brain than for my body. I'm just being honest with you. And I feel like I have this like brain and a body that gets it places because I want to ignore all the things about my body that I don't like. And I know some of you may be thinking I'm crazy, but some of you will relate to that. But if you can change the way you think, it will change everything about your life and change everything about your business. So first thing in the morning, and if you want to watch more videos on that, I'd be happy to share your videos. I'm going to mute everybody again. Sorry, I keep hearing noise. So if you want to watch more videos about positive affirmations and how those can affect your business, let us know. We'll for sure hook you up with some of that information. The next thing that we're talking about here is friending 3 new people on Facebook. Now, this is important that while you can friend Plexus people, we're not talking about friending Plexus people. You know, people maybe in your upline or people that are rock stars in the business that you want to follow. It's good to friend those and follow how they work the business online. But we're talking about friending 3 brand new people. Tune in to new prospects. You don't want your newsfeed filled only with Plexus posts. Turn on, now this is something some of you already know how to do, but some of you may be like, I don't know what she's talking about. Turn on the follow notifications thing on those that you plan to prospect. So basically, if you have people that are on your top 100 list and you plan to prospect them eventually, let's say that right now you feel like they're sort of cold market, or maybe you haven't talked to them since high school and you don't want to just immediately reach out to them without sort of establishing a relationship, you can turn on the follow notifications that tells you when they post something. That will let you know that you can actually go and say something. You don't have to say something every time they post. But if they say something that actually speaks to you that you would either congratulate them about or chime in about, it helps you to see their stuff. And also it helps them to see your stuff if you follow that person. Does that make sense? Okay. We're talking about your dream team people here. If you look for new people, if you think to yourself, I don't have much of a team and I'm looking for new people, I don't know where to find new people, I can tell you a few clues. You can go to like hobby and interest groups on Facebook. You do not want to reach out to those people and start trying to sell them Plexus the minute that you meet them. But over time, you can establish and build relationships with people who have common interests with yourself. And that's a great way to do it. So for example, if you join a single moms group because you are a single mom, or if you join an artist group because you are an artist, and over time you begin to establish relationships with these people, these are the types of people that you want to be adding as friends, but you're not going to add them as a friend so that you can immediately pitch them Plexus. You understand what I'm saying? Okay. So the daily action is friend 3 new people on Facebook. The next daily action is talking about wishing Facebook friends a happy birthday. Facebook will tell you to do this. It will say, these of your friends are having a birthday today. And it will give you the option to go in there and say happy birthday to them. It takes about a minute to wish several people happy birthday. My personal advice on this is the more personal that you can make it and actually say their name, and not just say happy birthday, or you can actually give them some sort of greeting other than just happy birthday. You can say, hope your day is super great, or maybe put a little graphic with it or whatever to kind of make it stand apart from all the other happy birthdays that they're going to get on that same day. This will really help you in establishing a relationship with people that you haven't talked to in a long time. Now, the intent of this is to actually start a conversation. It's not to do anything else. It's just to get a conversation started. Also, if you have a birthday coming up, I highly, highly suggest when people post on your wall wishing you a happy birthday, that you private message any of those people that you think would be great prospects and tell them, thank you. It's been a long time since we've talked. How y'all doing? What's been going on with your family? Whatever. It's a perfect reason. They've given you, they've handed you the perfect reason to private message them and start a relationship, to maybe rekindle I'm not talking about a romantic relationship. I'm just talking about rekindle some sort of relationship with someone you haven't maybe talked to in years. The next point, Facebook relationship building. Now, out beside here, we've put limit this. I have an incredible video somewhere that talks about making an edifying list. I'm going to just give you the very briefest explanation of this and why we talk about limiting it. Honestly, I think it's probably one of the most important things that you can do social media wise and daily activity wise is to build relationships with people online. I have an edifying list on my phone in my notes. It's of people that I want to prospect and eventually talk to about the business, but I feel that it would be too cold and feel not real and organic if I just immediately reached out to them about the business without establishing some sort of, hey, let's get to know each other again first. Now, that's not always going to be the case, but you know who the people are and you know what relationships I'm talking about. So if you have someone, if you'll create a list of people that you want to edify, that's what I call it, edify. You want to build into them some before you reach out to them about Plexus. I keep a list of those people, and I use Mondays, for example, and I go in those lists of those names and I go to their page, or if I follow them already, like I explained earlier, if I follow them on Facebook, it will show me a post of theirs and I can comment on that post. By doing that, it causes their post to cross my news feed more frequently, and it also causes the things that I post to cross their news feed more frequently. You're basically tricking Facebook into thinking that you're friends. And over time, you can develop a relationship with someone that you previously felt like was sort of an acquaintance. And eventually, you can feel more comfortable reaching out to them as a prospect. So, okay, the reason it says limit this is like super duper important. It's because how many of you know that Facebook can be like the biggest time-sucking vacuum of your entire day, where you'll get on there and you'll think, all I'm going to do is send so-and-so the message that I promised her last night. And like 2 hours later, you're watching goofy videos about something that someone else posted, and you're like, this is not income-producing activity. So where it says limit this, as long as what you're doing on building, relationship building is income producing, it's edifying people, or it's reaching out and creating new friendships, that's good. Now, here's what I say about the other stuff, all the other junk. Do that as much as you feel comfortable doing. I don't have a problem with it. However, don't blame Plexus or don't blame building your business when you're doing the other stuff. Like, for example, if you're new into Plexus and your spouse thinks that you're spending a lot of time on Facebook suddenly, and you're like, well, I'm working my business. If you are working your business, then blame it on working your business. But if you find yourself, it's kind of a checks and balances. If you find yourself spending a lot of time wasted because Facebook has the ability to really draw you in, then you want to limit that. Okay, that's all I'm going to say about this. Okay, this next part. Contact 5 new people and start a prospecting sheet if they show interest. So this is daily if you're reaching out to 5 new people. This is really important. If you say that you're in the business of helping people, wait, I want to save that for the next part. Okay. Contacting 5 new people, start a prospecting sheet if they show interest. So let's say if someone is in your dream team, they're part of your list of 100 people, you want to be reaching out to those people five at a time. I can give you some ideas about how to reach out to people if you want those. That's another video, but we're going to try to keep this video very concise and to the point. The follow-up, that's what I was reading to you a minute ago. Following up with 2 prospects. Now, here's what I can tell you about the way that I have followed up with prospects in the past that was ineffective for me. And when I've actually talked to other people who have been with the company for a while and say, can you tell me how you, what kind of method do you have for following up? Many of them have told me, well, I use Facebook Messenger. You know, I remind myself by going back through Facebook Messenger who I've talked to recently. This is what I did for a very long time. Well, here's what I can say. If you will start yourself where it's talking about here, start a prospecting sheet on each new person that you're talking to, and you'll document, you know, what you talked about and keep that person's page separate from everybody else's. It makes following up with that people, which is those people later, which is the next step, following up with 2 prospects, that much simpler. Now, here's what I wrote down in the notes for that. If you say that you're in the business of helping people, don't those people deserve to have what we're going to call a special piece of paper in your life? Now, the person that I stole this stacking system, Daily Action Stack, from told me that her team now calls people that when they have a new person, a new prospect that they've actually had a meaningful conversation with, they call them a special, an SPP, special piece of paper. Hey, I got a new SPP today. Someone that's worthy. You've had enough of a connection with the person that you started basically a file, a special piece of paper on. So, for example, you know, Melissa so-and-so, her daughter has, you know, a breathing issue. She also mentioned that she wants to retire her husband. Things that you had a conversation with this person about, so that the next time when you flip back through the people that are in your prospect list and you come to Melissa's special piece of paper, you know what the follow-up is about. And you know exactly where you need to take the conversation the next time that you reach out to her. Does that make sense to everyone? Okay. Hang on a second. Let me look back at my notes. Okay, this is something else that she pointed out to me. She said, if you're brand new, this is going to be the perfect, easy system for you. Follow this action stack and you'll be all set. If you're a veteran in the business and you're like, I've been around for 2 years or I've been around for 3 years, she encouraged that you go back through old messages, old text messages, old emails, and you will be surprised and sort of sad by how many fell through your colander, the holes in your old system probably, that should have had their own special piece of paper, if that makes sense. You're like, oh, I forgot to send so-and-so a sample when I said that I would, or I forgot to follow up with her after a week when she was supposed to be trying her products, or I don't know for sure if she got her order, whatever it is. If you'll go back through old messages, you'll have yourself a list before you know it of people to start reaching back out to. Don't kick yourself because you haven't done this before, but I think it's really important that we start doing this now. The next step is to reach out to one active distributor a day. Now, why this is important is eventually, if you're reaching out to one a day, you'll eventually get through all your level ones, or depends on how big your team is, maybe all of your levels 1 through 2, however far down you want to reach out. And it gives them the sense that, okay, they care about me. They want to know what's going on with me. And it gives you, as you're having a conversation with them, it can be however you want. You can do it through Messenger. You can text message them, whatever feels right to you. But you can reach out to them and you can find out where they are. It could be something like, what's your next goal? Or it could be something to actually help them get in the groove again if they've lost their groove. Or maybe that's someone that's been sort of stuck at gold for a while and you want to reach out and say, okay, tell me what's going on with you. Sometimes it can be just to set a lunch date with them and not talk Plexus at all. I'm going to be honest with you. People really appreciate when you just want to, have coffee with them and go over what's going on in their life. The next step is reaching out to inactive distributors, ambassadors, whatever you want to call it. Reaching out to inactive distributors. Let me see what the notes on this say. Yeah, find out what their next goal, Those, for example, I thought this was so great. Those who only say they're not active, but they only order ProBio 5 every month, okay? You can reach out and say something like, hey, I noticed that you ordered ProBio 5. Tell me what you love about it. Because this may be a person who might be curious about the business, or the conversation may lead you a place that causes them to be interested in further product. You never know what's going to happen. So just because they are not considered an active ambassador because they don't order, enough to bump them into the PV of an active ambassador does not mean that they're not interested. Let the conversation unfold. Post 3 times a day on Facebook. Personal, business, and motivational. Here's what I said about this. If you need to find inspirational things to post all at one setting, you can do that and save them to post throughout the week. So let's say Sunday afternoons are really slow for you and the rest of your week is busy. If you go in and just find, a handful of interesting, motivational, maybe health-related things to post that are not specifically Plexus, that may help you get through your week better. But if you're one of those people who likes to do things on the fly like I do, you may just be like, no, I'll just come up with that as it goes, whatever. Follow up with one current customer is obvious. Following up with a current customer. See how it's going. See if they need any help troubleshooting the products, and see if they have any interest in further products. The next thing on the action stack is back office time. Tracking new distributors, welcome them and recognize their sponsors, study downline volume, recognize monthly high volumes and recruiting, study customer lists, and reach out where needed, and look for rank advancements, and then recognize and announce. Key in on those that are about to rank up and find out how you can help them. And last, I'm going to go back up and elaborate on one of these, but I wanted to get through the steps really quick. But last, 3-way calls and 3-way Facebook chats. So, for example, if you have someone who is new and they sponsor their first new person, you can put yourselves into a 3-way Facebook chat where you and your new level 1 or your new level 1 and their new level 1 are all in a Facebook chat, so that level 2 feels comfortable reaching out to you and you can keep them congratulated and supported until that new leader, your new level 1, feels comfortable in doing that. I think that's a great idea. Also, she said another thing that she does is when they have someone on their team who is very sick and really needs the products, like we know so many people do when they start, she has 3-way chats going on with different people on her team and maybe their new prospect, a new customer or someone, and they set alarms in their phones at an appointed time. So, for example, let's say that me and Teresa and Sherry, let's say Teresa is my level 1 and Sherry is her new customer, or maybe another new level 1, but Sherry is sick. We would know that each of us is setting an alarm on our phone for 10:30, for example, to know that we're all going to stop whatever we're doing during the day and pray over Sherry's health for that, for 15 minutes or 5 minutes or whatever. And just knowing that Sherry, knowing that she's being supported in that way will be super helpful, will be part of your ministry if you look at this as a ministry. And you will experience so much growth here as you begin to pray for people and watch their health change and unfold. It's gonna blow your mind. I'm gonna tell you honestly, once you get into doing something like that, it will change you. Now the one that I feel like I've gone through here's the checklist again. We're at quiet time, positive affirmations, friend 3 new people on Facebook, do the happy birthdays. We'll do the relationship building like we talked about and edify. If you want to see a video that's specifically about that, let us know. I want to stop on this one. I wanted to go through the list kind of fast, but I want to stop on this contact 5 new people. Give you a few little sentences that I think that will help you that are so, when she told me these sentences, I thought, oh, those are genius. Why haven't I been using these? Here's what to say. Hey, I don't know if you've seen my Plexus post, but if you would ever like to try Plexus, I would like to work with you. She said her team has been using that sentence to reach out to their 5 new people every day, and it has created so much momentum on their team that she's blown away. I'm going to repeat it to you. Hey, I don't know if you've seen my Plexus post, but if you would ever like to try Plexus, I would like to work with you. She said if that doesn't sound like you, put it in your own words or whatever. It's non-threatening. It's not a lot of info, so they don't have to process. It's not pushy. You don't feel like you're really trying to convince them to do anything. You're just saying, hey, I sell Plexus. And it's really not any different than being at the ball field and saying, hey, girl, I do Pampered Chef now, so if you need anything, I'm your girl. You're just letting them know that that's what you do. Somebody's still drawing. Don't make me take your markers away. I can see you drawing and drawing. Can y'all see that? Okay. Anyway, here's another great sentence that she uses. It says, what is Plexus? So let's say you're somewhere and you're wearing your shirt, or they see your sticker on your vehicle, or they've seen your Plexus post and they run into you in the grocery store. And they say something like, what is Plexus? This is so brilliant, and you're going to want to use this. I will share this with you in the notes. I'm going to share the sheet with you and my notes from the sheet. What is Plexus? We have natural products that are making people feel better. And when she said that, I thought, oh my gosh, it literally bounces the ball to the other person who's asked you the question and forces them to go, really? Tell me more. I mean, there's nothing that they can do at that point except for ask you a question. They have to say, really? I've never heard of it. Or, you got to be kidding me. I think my sister takes that. Or, what do you mean feel better? Because nobody is going to say, oh yeah, feel better. I got no interest in that. I thought it was brilliant. So if you'll just think about all the possibilities that just saying we have natural products that are making people feel better, it keeps people from putting their defenses up and stopping you and saying, oh, well, good to talk to you, I got to go, and makes them instead ask you questions, to which will hopefully eventually lead to exactly where you want the conversation to go, which is filling their need. Like, you're going to find out more about what they have going on in their life, and hopefully being able to figure out a way that will work well in the puzzle of Plexus and what we do. So, okay. It's duplicatable. It's easy to remember. It doesn't sound salesy. Love that. We all know how to answer the questions. Okay, yeah, we all know how to answer the questions once they start to ask the questions. But okay, but you have to get them to actually, you have to get them to ask the questions first. So you don't want to be puking Plexus on people and puking too much information on people. My husband just now told me that I'm the only person that can do the drawing. So it has to be me that's doing the drawing. And so I really didn't want to use this video to argue, but I haven't touched my computer since we started this, except for to move the mouse around like this. So anyway, I don't see, somebody else is doing that. Somebody else is doing that. I don't know if you guys can see. I can't see.
That's funny because I don't know how they're doing it.
I can only see 3 faces.
Well, that was me, Rebecca, but I didn't do the original. I was just doing it to prove the point that I could do it, but it wasn't me originally. I'll go back and erase it now.
That you're wrong. That's awesome.
Yeah, she just wanted to prove me wrong. That's all she did just then.
Like, no, I'm not. He texted me. He's over at the office and he's like, no, you're the one drawing on the screen, but that's awesome. Okay. That way we could all draw a picture as a team. I'm just kidding. So, also on the following up, I meant to say this too. Following up with 2 prospects, something that I can't stress enough, and I really get frustrated when people get involved in this business and they're all like, I can't afford to send someone a sample. I get it. Once you've started making a check, though, of any kind from this company, you can afford it. And to invest in your business is the smartest money that you will ever spend. I can remember when I was a photographer that the Yellow Pages, I don't know if everybody has Yellow Pages in their phone book, but basically the advertisement part of the phone book, back in the day when people used a phone book, the guy that was the ads person stops by and he's telling me all about how I need to take out an ad in the Yellow Pages. And I'm like, yeah, I can't wait for him to get around to the number so I can tell him no. Because I knew it was going to be like, $100, $500, $1,000, something like that. And I was like, no, I'm not spending that kind of money. That is ridiculous. And when he finally got to the part where he told me the number, it was like $450. I politely told him no, and he said, could you explain to me why? And I said, because I can't afford it. And he said, how much do you charge for a photo shoot? And I said, I didn't want to tell him because he'd already basically proven me wrong. He said, so basically what you're saying is if this ad gets you one photo shoot, then it's paid for itself. And I was like, yeah. And he said, this ad is going to get you lots of photo shoots. You can't afford not to. And ever since then, for some reason, it was like, that was almost 10 years ago. Gosh, that was almost 10 years ago. Anyway, that was almost 10 years ago. And I have like completely flipped my brain around about investing into my business. But what I have noticed among network marketers, especially if you've never owned a business of your own before, you tend to go, hey, that's my money. I earned that. Well, girl, you earned it. And if you don't put it back into your business, at least if you don't invest portions of it back into your business, you would really be kicking yourself if you could learn what would have happened if you had occasionally, when you're following up with a prospect, if you had said, hey, give me your address. Let me send you a stick of Slim. Give me your address. I'm going to send you a catalog or body cream or whatever. After all, we're not paying rent on a brick and mortar building. We're not, having to pay for employees. This business basically runs itself money-wise. So every dollar that you put into it, if you are doing it smartly, is very well spent. So I encourage you, when you reach out to new prospects, to follow up, that when you feel led, that you will offer to send them a sample or a catalog or something to let that person know that you're serious and that you're all in and that you're not some basically fly by night going to be gone next week and not there to help them. Because I'm going to be honest with you, every time someone's ever reached out to me about a business like this, I always think, yeah, I'm going to start ordering your product, and in 6 weeks, you're not even going to sell that product anymore. But if you have invested in samples of your product, that gives an entirely different impression. So, okay, let me, I'm going to stop sharing. Okay, I'm going to go back to where I can see y'all's pretty faces. Let me see if there's anything I've left out. Did we talk about three-way calls at all? Yeah, three-way calls and chats, we did. I'm asking y'all questions that I know the answers to. So, okay, do you guys feel like that this is a daily plan of action that you can put into place? Okay, now I'm going to tell you, you use it as you will, as you feel led with your own, with yourself and with your team. I'm going to tell you what she was doing with it, and I thought this was brilliant. She said that she was taking like all the good, like, the affirmation stuff, packing it full of action, which is, that's why she's calling it the action stack. She was, opening her days with positive affirmations, starting the day and setting the tone that way, giving herself something to do every single day. And she said the people that are doing it are creating huge momentum. She actually used it as a like a 40-day accountability type thing where she put people into a group. Now, I know some of you are already doing accountability groups that are really action-packed already, and you're like, look, I'm not taking on something new. But I thought this was a really beautiful middle ground if you've already been familiar with a very action-packed, income-producing, that you if you've maybe felt overwhelmed with, maybe you like it, but you don't know how you would lead a team through it. I feel like this particular action stack would be super for you to actually take and show it to your team. You can show them this video if you want, or you can make a video of your own, basically showing them about how to use this daily. I mean, you don't want to send this to a brand new customer, and you don't want to send this to a person who says, I don't want to work the business. But if somebody comes to you and says, look, I'm interested, I want to work the business, show me how. This is going to produce momentum for them. If they are reaching out to 5 new people and they have the words to say, you can see how it's going to create momentum for people, right? Every day they're reaching out to 5 new people. They're reaching out to old people and following up. They're making sure that their team feels loved by reaching out and finding out how their team is doing. If they're reaching their goals, are they ranking up? Congratulating them. This is a basic reminder of how to do all of those things. She also told me that she purposefully did not add in, because I was thinking it through the whole thing. I thought, where is she doing self-improvement? Like, let's say if someone gets involved and that you feel like you want them to be reading books or something that would help them to grow personal growth stuff. She said she intentionally left that out of the action stack because she said, if you're a person who hides behind personal growth, like I'm all about like researching the ingredients or learning more about network marketers in general. And I could write you a paper on all the great network marketers and all the tactics that they've ever used or whatever. If you hide behind that, like I have done in the past, because that's my honey spot. I love that. That's what I love to do. She's like, they'll just do that during the day and they'll wait to do all the other stuff, or they won't ever get around to doing all the other stuff because they feel like they're accomplishing something, but they're not producing any income. Does that make sense to everyone? It made so much sense to me that it made me want to slap myself. Okay. So the book reading stuff and all that stuff that you think, I need to be doing that too. Do that. It's just not part of your action stack. Don't consider that you're doing income producing activity, because what that is long-term income producing, making you a better leader activity. But it's not necessarily doing anything to create momentum and activity on your team today. Does that make sense to everyone? Okay. So there's nothing wrong with doing that. You just don't want to congratulate yourself in your action stack because you did that. that's not really action. That was hard for me to hear too, because I was like, whatever, I really like doing that. She said what she really likes to do, and she has to do it, I think she said do it last, is she loves her back office. She loves running data and numbers and looking to see what her team is doing. So she's the first thing she wants to do when she wakes up is look at her team and see how the volume is improved and see how, she said she makes herself do everything else before she gets to that, so she sort of rewards herself for doing the rest of the stuff in the action stack. Is everybody following me? I know I've done a lot of talking, and I'm talking really fast, but I wanted this video to be really concise. Now at this point, I need to look at the chat and see if you guys are actually talking to each other or if you're asking me questions. Jenny, have you seen questions that people are asking me about this in particular?
I've been trying to answer them as you go, so
Okay.
you don't have to do all of them.
Okay. So at this point, if anybody has a question that is specifically about what we're talking about tonight, please either speak up or type it in the or talks a lot. Somebody just said I always talk a lot. Or actually type it in the chat. And that way, in case someone's watching this video. By the way, I didn't share the name of the person who shared this with me for a specific reason. Oh my gosh, my cat just scared me. Oh my gosh. What is it, Kittle? I didn't share her name on purpose because I thought once I put this out on YouTube, if people have questions and they can't get me to answer, they'll start messaging her. And she don't need to be bothered by this. She's just trying to help by sharing info with us. So she's a great leader in the company. And I wanted to give her credit, but once I thought about it, I thought, no, people will start saying, hey, can you send me that sheet? And all that stuff. So, okay. Let me see if anybody's asked a question yet. Okay, Alexandria, I'll get to that question in a little bit. I want to get just the questions that are about tonight's topic first, or you can message me that question. Or maybe somebody else wants to answer her question for her, but I want this video to be very concise about this topic so that new prospects or new ambassadors can watch this video and feel like they can get started fast.
Somebody asked earlier about how to do it digitally instead of having an actual piece of paper or notebook that you have to carry around.
Okay, well, I will share I think she shared a PDF with me, and you can probably, you could actually take it. I don't know, you guys would know better. You can definitely save the file on your phone. You can probably put it in the notes portion in your phone if you wanted just the wording so that you could put little check marks beside it. That totally depends on your personality, whether you think you would be able to like check it off mentally or if you need to actually check it off. But yeah, you can use it digitally because I'm going to share it with you digitally. Were there other questions I missed? Oh, okay. I see something else that someone has asked. I'd like to be able to access this info anywhere without having to tote a notebook everywhere. I encourage you, like the special piece of paper thing, I loved that she called it an SPP. If you're not a person that writes things down like that, if you would rather keep info about new prospects, you have to maybe, I'm sure there is some sort of app that you can, contacts or calendar type app where you can keep notes about particular people and keep them all in alphabetical order. I'm just sure that there is an app out there like that if you're one of those people that would rather keep it electronically. Okay, someone says, I have noticed that when I vomit all the information about prices, they kind of turn off. I don't know if it is because of the long message or the actual price. How will be a more effective way to say it? Okay, I'm going to say, I'm saying that your name is Graziella. That's what it looks like. Graziella, I'll tell you the answer to this is I never tell anyone a price without getting a lot of information from them first. So if the first thing that they ask me is how much does that stuff cost, or hey, how much is Plexus? I see you talking about it all the time. I don't know if I can afford it. Well, they have not given me enough information for me to have any idea how much it's going to cost them. If they have a child that needs a better probiotic and that's all they're interested in, then the answer is going to be in the $30 range a month, or even less if it's a child. They may only take one, whatever the instance is. But if they are a person who has a full spectrum of health issues and they want to take the entire system. So what I usually say is, well, it really depends on what you decide to take. We have some in big bottles. We have some in little bottles. So your monthly price is completely dependent upon you. What do you have going on? What I have done by doing that is I've leapfrogged their price objection, if that's what they plan to do, is object about the price. I've leapfrogged that, and I made them tell me more. So then once I know that, basically it gives me a great thing to take notes on, because then they're going to say, well, I have a lot of joint pain. My heels kill me when I get up in the morning. My daughter suffers from migraines, and the list goes on and on and on. Then I have a better idea of how to build in more information and say, I'd love to send you some testimonies. And you can better decide, after I send you the testimonies, you can better decide which of the products you would be interested in after you read about what people took that have the same problem that you do. I never tell anybody the price. And the reason I don't is I feel like they need to know more about what it will do for them before the price is going to be relevant to them. Because I can tell you that when the day my feet quit itching for the first time in my entire life, I thought, wow, gosh, I thought Plexus was expensive because I was wanting to take it for weight loss. And just having my feet quit itching is almost worth the amount that I was paying every day, because they were driving me insane. And then when the clouds parted and I was no longer miserable, I couldn't put a price on that. So people need to know more about what it will do for you, because if they're only taking it for one particular thing, until they realize that it could do so many things, and that's why I think sharing testimonies are so crucial. By the way, you have to share those. You can't share those on your wall. You don't need to do that. But sharing testimonies with people are crucial to building up their belief about what it can do for them. That way they don't start doing math in their head and just decide automatically, I can't afford it. Okay, someone else's question. Not sure if this is related. Hang on, I'm going to read it to myself first. Okay, that's another question. That's a good question. I'll answer that for you in a little bit when we stop recording. Yeah, somebody says if you're spending money on drugs or doctor's appointments, then they can afford it. Totally agree with that. All I was spending money on every day was Dr. Pepper, and I could afford it. I was spending more on Dr. Pepper every day. That's embarrassing and true. Most people are spending more money on coffee or energy drinks. Mine would just happen to be Dr. Pepper. Anybody else? Really? For real? Y'all are scared because I said I'm going to record it and put it on YouTube. Y'all don't realize I do that every week. Okay. Well, now, if you have questions that are off topic, if you're watching this video specifically for this topic, we're going to probably quit talking about it now. So you can turn the video off. But if you have questions that are off topic, we can answer those now. I don't know. Glenda, you would have to ask. She's asking about having catalogs. I think it would probably be smart to have a catalog on hand that you can show to people. I don't know that I would give out catalogs unless someone was very, very interested at your booth. I don't know if that makes sense, but people tend to file 13 those catalogs, or when you go to a health fair or something. Don't you throw everything away except for the ink pens? Are y'all like me? You're like, I'm gonna keep the ink pens, I'm gonna keep the magnets, but I'm throwing everything else away unless you're very, very interested. Am I right? Y'all know I'm right. Okay. Any other questions? So this team, a group. So it's not just my team. It's I have some team out in Utah and a group out in Utah it's a combination of a lot of people's teams. They're doing a meeting coming up, I think, this month. And they asked me if I would do a 1-minute video. And they having several leaders do 1-minute videos that they're going to put all together in a collage. And I was like, 1 minute? I barely even get to say hello in 1 minute. And so I had to really think, like, what can I say in 1 minute? And I made it just like right before this call. I thought, I can do this. You can do it. Make something that's relevant and important and that, won't be white noise amongst a bunch of other leaders in 1 minute. And what I talked about, and I did want to end this call with you guys tonight before we pray. I wanted to tell you what I said on that video. Well, actually, let me see if I can just get it to play for you. It's only 1 minute, y'all. Y'all have a minute. Okay. I got to make sure it was the last one because the first two I laughed at myself because I was being so long-winded. Here, I'm going to start it and see if you can actually hear me.
So in just one short minute, what can I say to you? It's great to brush up on your skills. It's great to learn how to be a network marketer. It's great to learn about the products and the compensation plan and how this company works. But most importantly, don't forget the power that you have in your hands, and don't prejudge people, because you have the potential to completely change someone's life. And if you prejudge someone by thinking, well, they look like they're fine, they seem healthy, or if you prejudge someone and think, I think she probably loves her job, you may be cheating them out of an opportunity to have a completely different life. I'm so glad that no one prejudged me and kept me from this opportunity. Reach out, do something that scares you. Get outside your comfort zone and talk to people that you wouldn't normally talk to. I can promise you, you will be glad that you did. And congratulations for every little step that you take, everything that you do to better yourself and to offer help to people who need it, which is everybody. Everybody needs what we have.
I was so proud of myself. I was like, that's the best 1 minute video I've ever done, right? Y'all are like, that's the only 1 minute video you've ever done. Yeah. So that's what I wanted to leave you guys with tonight. Don't forget the power that we have in our hands as Plexus ambassadors. Every time I feel scared, and as you start this, if you start this action stack, you will find yourself reaching out to 5 new people, and you'll be like, that one, I don't know. I think I'm scared. And what I really want you to imagine, every single time, I want you to imagine that that person has a daughter who has asthma. You don't know that. Or that person has a best friend who has some terrible digestive issue. Or that person is secretly about to go bankrupt, like you would never know. I can promise you, if I was about to go through bankruptcy prior to Plexus, if I was about to go through bankruptcy, Jetty and I would be the only people that would know. That's just the way we lived our lives back then. You do not know, and you cannot, for the sake of other people, you can't afford to prejudge people. Almost everybody I know is struggling in some way, and we don't offer answers to everything. Our team does. Our team offers answers to everything. I mean, we have these Zoom calls, we have answers for everything. But Plexus in and of itself doesn't offer answers to everything, but it offers answers to a huge percentage of the things that people struggle with. And I highly encourage you to do something every day that's outside your comfort zone. And then what you'll realize is that your comfort zone will expand to the point that you're doing things that you thought you would never do before. And when you're doing things that you thought you would never do before, you're getting paid in rewards and dividends that you never thought that you would get paid in. Every time, it's the craziest thing to me that you can pay sometimes a ridiculous amount of money to go to college and not learn the types of personal growth lessons that you learn while making a fortune in network marketing. I have more business, this is a true statement what I'm about to say to you. I have more business knowledge and business sense than I could have ever gained at the age of 18 to 22 at the very best business school in the world. And that's true. That has a lot more to say. That says a lot more about who I was at that age than it has to do with the very best business school in the world. But I have gained more business sense and was paid like a king to gain that knowledge by doing Plexus than I could have ever gained by going to college and getting a business degree. It's just the truth about who I am, and I would have paid a fortune and be in student loan debt to have gained this type of knowledge. It's a completely opposite outlook on the world, totally opposite outlook on the world, to get into network marketing, to reach out to people to help free them, when most people that are reaching out to people are not reaching out to actually help them. Does that make sense to you? Like, it's true. It's what we do. We reach out to people and help them change their lives for the better. Other network marketing companies are not the same as Plexus. I shudder to think that that's what people think about what I do when they see me talking about it all the time. I talk about it on Facebook all the time. And in the back of my mind, I'm thinking, if I reach one person this week that previously thought that network marketing was a scam, and I get them involved into this to where they're just as crazy about it as I am, then it was worth every naysayer. It was worth every single person who said something tacky. It was worth everything, because I changed someone's life while other people were making fun of me, and I got paid like a king to do it. Does that make sense to you guys? I just really just want to reach out to people who are struggling inside their comfort zones and just tell you, it is worth it. It is worth it to take your comfort zone like a rubber band, because if you're pulling on this side of it, it's stretching on this side too. And your comfort zone that started out like this turns out to be like this. And eventually you're doing things you never dreamed that you would be capable of doing. This business, the business, I used to say, man, if you made me choose between the business and the products, hands down, I choose the products. The products they took my misery away. They put me in a place to where I could do things with my kids, all these things, because at the time, and still to this day, the finances don't match that. The finances have been crazy. I mean, like, never dreamed in a million years that we would make the kind of that we would make the income that we make. But you can't do anything with money to take away your misery. Does that make sense? What does come close to it, though, is the experience that I've gained and the way I've been able to pour into people and love on people and change people's lives. So, like, the finances don't match it, but being able to pour into people and change their lives for the better comes really close to my misery being gone, because it also helps with my misery being gone. Every time that I feel someone's life completely change because of something I said or did, just by being the messenger, it's like your birthday every single day. I highly encourage you to get outside your comfort zone, and I highly encourage you to use this action stack. I'll share the notes. I'll have to share it on YouTube too, because now I've talked about it enough, people will be like messaging me constantly. I'll have to share the notes and the actual daily plan of action with you guys. And I pray that you guys will jump in with both feet. I'm going to see if there's any questions before we. Okay. If you have a question tonight and I didn't answer it, message me after this. And if for some reason I don't answer you, that means I didn't get it. That means if we're not friends on Facebook, I may not get your message. You may have to tag me in a post on the Butterfly page and tell me that you messaged me, and then I can go check it. Okay. Does anybody out there feel the desire to pray over us tonight? I felt like I was supposed to ask that tonight. If not, I will happily do it. But I don't want to cheat somebody of the blessing if they want to. You'll have to unmute yourself because I can't see the majority of you. You want to do it. I know, it's outside your comfort zone, and my speech wasn't good enough.
Hey, Lori, I'll volunteer to say the prayer tonight.
Boom! All right. Okay, awesome. I don't even know who said that, but I'm so excited right now.
All right. Father God, we just come before you tonight, and we just thank you so much for this opportunity we have to come together as a team and just have Lori pour into us and share this wealth of knowledge that she has for us, and just help us to take this and to learn from it, to help share this business, this opportunity, these products with everyone around us, and we can be a blessing to them in their lives and in lots of ways, both in their health and their finances, and help us to reach out to them if they just need someone to talk to or need someone to pray for them. Just help us to be that person, that blessing to them in their lives. Father, you're just such a loving Father that you can surround us with like-minded people and uplift us and give us this time that we can come together and share, that we can share ideas and thoughts and lift each other up, and we can praise you and just for all the blessings that you've given us. We know that there's those in our family and our team here that are struggling, whether it be in relationships, whether it be kids or spouses or friends. We just pray that you reach into those relationships and just repair any damage that's done, soften hearts, and destroy grudges that are keeping those relationships from being repaired and strengthened. I ask that you bless all the families that are in this team, be with those that have suffered great loss this week, those that are going through hardships and trials, whether it be with their health or whatever it is, loss of jobs or just uncertainty in the upcoming days. I just thank you so much for being the loving Father that you are, that you would send your Son to die on the cross for us, and that's just some unbelievably powerful love that you would have for us. Thank you so much for the grace that you pour out upon us each and every day, and help us to remember that sacrifice and take it out into the world and share your love each and every day. Thank you so much, Dad. And it's in your name that I pray. Amen.
Amen. Thank you so much for that. Thank you. All right. Awesome. Okay, I'm going to stop the recording.